So you may ask yourself, what happens whenever the publisher brings back the map and it needs to be updated? Well, let's see, we've got this street right here we already know is there, but we didn't know what name it was. So the publisher told us it was County Road 188. So obviously we need to rename that. So we can do that the easy way. Just come over here to text, and the size is probably going to be about a 6. And so we just click in the area we want to type, and we're going to do CR, if it plays. Okay, we've got to be on the right level. Let's be on the one to the streets level on our layers. Select that so it actually goes somewhere. Click back over here. We're going to do CR 188. Alright, now if you notice it's a little bit bigger than what we've got. Let's try a 4. That's too small. So how about a 5? Alright, that looks just about right. Now what we want to do is we want to rotate this so that it's in line with this street. So what we're going to need to do is open up Object, Transform, or we can use one of these, but we'll use the Transform dialog just to show you how to use it. So we want to rotate, and we're going to try 90 degrees and apply. And if you look over here, it moved it just fine. So then what we want to do is we want to click on our Move button, move it on top of the road that we want, get that out of the way, and so now that road is updated. Now what happens if there's something maybe that that we want to update it before the publisher actually gets it, so that when they get there they know that all of the streets are there, and then they can just verify what's on the map. What we'll need to do is we'll need to open up a web browser, and you can either go to MapQuest or Bing or any of those, and they all work pretty good. So we'll go to mapquest.com, and we are going to go to Hallettsville. And it's going to open up a map for us to Hallettsville, and we can scroll down here, and obviously it's not close enough, so we're going to load it up a couple of times till it gets where we want it. And that's pretty good, and we can use our little hand and move it around. Now we'll move this over so we can see what we're doing. And if you remember, you see over here we've got 188. Here's 188 right there. Alright, but here's another little road that wasn't on there before, Private 1340. So what we want to do is we want to take this map and we want to make sure that we can bring it over here, because we could just freehand this up, but how do we know that that's what it really looks like? We want to make sure that the maps match so that that everything's the way it should be. So what we're going to do is we're going to do a little trick. We're going to take this and we're going to copy it. So let's go over to the top, and we can go to File and Print. And when it comes up, instead of printing, what we're going to do is we're actually going to save it as a PDF. So save it as a PDF. Leave the name of the file. We can Map of Hallettsville, Desktop, and Save. And so that'll save that. We can get this out of the way. And so now if you notice, we've got our Map of Hallettsville over here. So now we want to make a separate layer underneath all of our maps, all of our colors, so that it's behind everything, so we can use it like tracing paper. So what we want to do is we want to go all the way to the bottom of our layers, and we want to do it above the background. So we'll select background, and we'll add a layer above the current, and we're going to call it MapQuest, and add. Alright, so now this is the active layer. We're on the MapQuest layer. We want to add our map to it. So we're going to go File, Import, Desktop, Map of Hallettsville, and Open. Click OK on your Open PDF dialog. Now what we're going to have to do is this picture is obviously going to be bigger than the map that we have, so we're going to have to shrink it. So when it comes up, what we'll do is we'll shrink the map down so that we can match it up with what we're working on. So we'll need to zoom out. Get the zoom to work here. There we go. And we'll zoom out so that we can see the full picture. We use our map here, and then we're going to use the transform scale, and let's try 30% and scale proportionately and apply. So that's pretty close. Now what we want to do is we want to get in a little closer. We're going to move this down so we can see how the road matches up, and that's pretty close. Now we'll use our zoom tool and zoom in so we can kind of fine tune it a little bit. You can use the move arrows. Once you've selected it, you can use the move arrows. So it's still a little bit too big. So the scales are relative. So now it's already at 30%, but if we hit this again and change it to like 25, it's going to shrink it to 25% of what this is. So we don't want that to happen. So we want to change this, let's say, to 97%. So now it's going to make this 97% of what it originally is. So when we do that, that's pretty close. Now we can kind of move it around a little bit, and it's pretty close. We'll try it again. So it'll bring it back another 97%. And it's not going to be perfect because some of these maps are a little strange the way they lay them out, but that's pretty good. And we can see our road here, so that gives us a pretty good idea. When you get to the longer roads, it gets a little bit more complicated, but we'll just keep it simple like this. So now we see our map. We're going to blow it up here, and that's pretty close. And so now what we're going to do is we're going to lock out the MapQuest layer. We're going to come up to our street layer, because we want all of our streets on the same layer. And then what we're going to do is we're going to use our bezel tool, and we're going to click this here, and you can just follow the road and then hit return, and it's done. Now it's a little bit big, so we'll go back over here to actually we'll have to open up fill and stroke, and when that comes up, we want the stroke style. We want to lower that down a little bit, so let's try 0.09. And that's obviously too big, so we want pixels 0.09. Okay, that's too small. Let's try 0.9. Sometimes you just have to mess with this thing a little bit to get it to where you want it. Try 0.8. That's not quite enough. 7. That's alright. That's not too bad, but I think we can tweak it just a little bit more. Alright, 6 is good. Alright, so what we want to do is we want to deselect that, and we want to label it. So we got our label, and we're going to do private 1340. We're going to make it 5 is probably still good. And then of course we're going to select it again, and then we're going to transform it. So we're going to rotate. Now we want it to turn the same way, so we can just hit apply. It automatically turns it. Then we can move it right where it needs to go. So now we've got that one done. And so now when we print, we don't want to see the MapQuest layer, so we're going to hide it. And so now to print it, obviously you're going to have to make a new blue layer PDF and then reprint for your update. And so that's basically how to update the maps. Of course, make sure you want to save so that all of your changes are done. You don't lose them the next time and have to redo everything all over again.